recovered from the Absol archives. Entry number 15.
I took the night shift because no one else wanted it. The job posting described it as low activity, minimal supervision required, which usually means nothing happens. Greenfield Residential Care sits just off the main road. Standalone building, no hospital attached, no emergency wing. Just 3 floors of long-term residence and a car park that's always half empty, even during the day. At night, it's completely silent. My shift starts at 10 p.m., ends at 6. Most of the night is spent checking vitals, logging medication, helping residents to the bathroom, responding to call buttons. During training, they told me, most residents sleep through the night. And for the first hour, that was true. The corridors were quiet, not peaceful, just empty. There's always that same low hum from the air conditioning, the fluorescent lights buzzing overhead, and the faint ticking of the emergency exit signs, every door closed, every bed occupied, everyone supposedly asleep. Until room 12's call button lit up. I checked the board. No assigned staff yet, so I grabbed the keys and went. The hallway leading to room 12 is longer than the others. The carpet changes halfway down, softer, thicker. It muffles your footsteps. The door was already open. Inside, a man was sitting upright in bed, not reading, not watching TV, just looking at the doorway, at me. He didn't blink when I stepped inside, didn't move when I asked if he needed help, didn't speak, just watched. I checked his chart on the wall, name, Arthur Lewin, status, deceased 2 days ago. I thought I'd misread it, so I read it again. Then again. When I looked back at him, he raised his hand and pressed the call button again. The light above his bed came on. I stepped back into the hallway, checked the room number. Room 12. Same name on the door, same chart inside. When I looked back in, the bed was empty. Sheets untouched. No indentation, no movement, nothing. The next morning I told one of the senior nurses. She didn't look surprised, just said, "You shouldn't be answering those rooms yet." I asked what she meant. She said night monitoring only, then walked away. Over the next few shifts, I noticed, room 12 wasn't the only one. Room 17's call button lit up at 2:03 a.m. Room 9's at 3:11. Room 23 at 4:42. Every time the chart listed the same thing. Deceased, some weeks ago, months ago, one from nearly 3 years. But their rooms were still assigned, still stocked, still monitored. One night I heard movement in the corridor. Slow, dragging, like someone walking barefoot across linoleum. I stepped out of the nurse station and saw a wheelchair moving on its own. Room 17's door was open. Inside, someone was standing beside the bed, looking through the curtains. I didn't go in that time. Instead, I checked the CCTV. Camera 3 showed the hallway outside room 17. Empty. No wheelchair, no movement, no one entering, no one leaving. Later that night, I started hearing call buttons from multiple rooms. Room 12, room 9, room 17, one after the other, like someone pressing them in sequence. When I checked the board, all 3 lights were active. But when I walked down the corridor, every room was empty. Beds made, curtains closed, call buttons still lit. I turned them off, manually. But when I reached the end of the hallway, room 12's came back on again. That's when I stopped answering them. Instead, I checked the medication log. Room 9's had been updated, initialed, time-stamped, 2:14 a.m. I checked the roster. No one assigned to that floor at that time. Except me. And I hadn't been there. That's when I asked about the night staff. I thought maybe someone else was doing rounds, someone I hadn't met yet. But the admin office said there's only one assigned nurse per floor overnight. I checked the staff list. Every name was familiar, except for 3. They weren't on the day roster, didn't have ID photos, but their shifts were logged. Every night for the past 6 months, night monitoring required. Room assignments. Checking vitals, logging medication, helping residents to the bathroom, responding to call buttons. I stayed late after my shift and went to the archive room. Resident files are kept in alphabetical order. Arthur Lewin was still there. Discharge date 2 days ago, under reason, expired on site. But beneath it was a new note, added last night. Night monitoring required assigned staff, my name. I checked the other files, room 17, room 9, room 23. Same thing, expired then reassigned, to the night roster. That night I didn't answer any call buttons, just sat at the desk, watching the hallway. At 2:47, room 12's door opened. Arthur stepped out, walked slowly toward the nurse station, stopped, looked directly at me, then turned toward the staff corridor, the restricted one. Warning sign still on the door, the one we're told never to use. He pressed the door open and disappeared inside. The next morning, I checked the roster again. My name had moved from floor 2 to room 12. Status, night monitoring required. My replacement was already assigned. Start date, tonight, and their ID photo was blank.
This has been an entry from the Absol archives. If you'd like to hear the next one, subscribe. It's free. And you can always leave